I almost did a course that's illegal to do in Canada.
Meet Jackie Ngondo, a serial entrepreneur in Edmonton.
They almost had me. I was gonna pay these bills. My relationship with God grew the moment I chose to become an entrepreneur. Your vision should be your fuel. Don't jump into any type of partnership. For any black girl out there, I would say don't let people put you in a box.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Golda Show, where we talk all things business, personal development, and entrepreneurship. Today I'm joined here with my good friend Jackie.
Hey girl.
Who is the founder of Flawless Figures and the co-founder of Women in Motion and the founder of Black Girls in Tennis.
It keeps going.
Jackie, welcome to the Golda Show.
Thank you so much, girl. I am honored to be here today.
I'm super excited to have you. We have so much to discuss. This woman is a powerhouse.
Oh my gosh,
in
girl,
Edmonton,
stop it.
Alberta. You guys don't know about Jackie? Please.
You will today.
You will today. So let's jump right into it and get to know Jackie a little bit more. Are you ready?
I'm ready,
So
girl.
why did you start your business, Flawless Figures, and what kind of prompted you to even come up with the name Flawless Figures?
So actually, it was when I had given birth to my daughter.
No way.
She's 4 now, and for lack of a better word, I always look snatched. My body was always, there was nothing wrong with it in my eyes. It was perfection for me.
Love that.
So when I gave birth, it was such a shock seeing myself change in such a way. And I'm not a surgery hater, but I
Yeah.
knew that wasn't the route that I personally wanted to go to.
100%.
So when I was finding non-invasive options in the city at that time, and it was pandemic times, I couldn't find anything. So I thought there's so many women out there who feel like me, who might not want to do surgery or might not have the budget for it. So I decided to start Flawless Figures.
Wow.
And at that point, flawless to me can be synonymous to perfection, but I want every woman to feel flawless in how they perceive themselves,
Wow.
essentially. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So how did you decide that, okay, this is the only thing I want to focus on for this point in my life currently, right after giving birth? You know, I'm sure you had other ideas where
Yeah.
you thought, okay, I want to do this, this, and this, but what drew you to Flawless Figures specifically?
You know, it's funny because I feel like sometimes your destiny is hidden behind places you wouldn't expect.
Interesting.
Because when I went into it, I was just like, let me see how this goes. And I found passion, I found purpose, and really life started making sense from that point on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Run us through kind of like the steps on what it takes to actually get body contoured.
So, okay, to be a candidate,
Okay.
there's like a certain amount of questions that I'd go through, like the consultation, your health, etc. But basically, the perfect candidate is someone who has a clear goal
Okay.
and someone who knows that there are expectations outside of the treatment. So, I want you to be healthy.
Okay.
I want you to be going to the gym
Okay.
or just any sort of activity. If that's taking a walk with your dog, but being aware that body contouring is, I'm not a magician. I wish I was.
Don't
I wish I was.
Uh-huh.
But so the perfect candidate has a clear goal and they have a vision. So when you
Okay.
come for your consultation, I can get you to that point, but I don't lie to anyone. I make it realistic. And I do aim for goals that I know we can get to.
Okay, nice. So
Yeah.
how long do a lot of your clients seeing progress with their body contouring on average?
On average, I think a month,
Oh,
which is a short amount of time if you really
Yeah.
think about
Okay.
it. Because if they're consistent and they do follow the plan, it's a foolproof plan,
Okay.
essentially. If you are eating well, if you are working out in some sort of aspect, and you add body contouring, what could go wrong?
So you just get snatched right after.
You get snatched,
So
baby
you
girl.
just suck them in.
Exactly.
I might have to make a little appointment.
Girl, you do.
Wow. So for you then, do you just include only body contouring for your services, or have you extended into other non-invasive treatments?
So essentially, Flawless is going to grow into a powerhouse in the aesthetic
I
field.
told you she was a powerhouse. Please.
Girl, I love that word now.
She is.
So it's basically the one-stop shop for everything body.
Nice.
So I'm introducing cellulite removal, which is actually a service that I currently have,
Nice.
and stretch mark removal as well, and holistic practices like lymphatic drainage for my
Nice.
girlies who are not really keen on machinery too.
So, Jackie, tell us about Black Girls in Tennis. I, for one, have been to one of these events.
Yes,
10 out of 10 experience. Meeting other women who look like you, who are just as interested in the sport, is such a amazing experience, I would say. So,
is.
tell me, why did you decide, you know what, I want to create a tennis group for Black girls?
So when I was 3, I actually started playing tennis when I was 3 years old.
Oh
Hey,
my gosh, no way.
yeah, and it was the one thing that I actually remember me and my dad doing before he moved to Canada.
Mm.
So I kind of continued playing because that was one way that kept me close to him. And when I moved to Canada, it was school, it was work, and I realized that all the things I used to do that made me happy, I stopped doing. So when I finally went back on the courts and I was playing with my dad, my brother, I realized there were no Black girls on the courts
Ooh,
anywhere,
very true.
you know?
Very
And
true.
I started like talking to friends, like, do you know how to play? Would you be interested? And I found out that a lot of people are intimidated of going into the courts where you won't see anyone who looks like you. You're
Yeah.
afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So you just stay away from it, right? And
Interesting.
the entry to kind of knowing the sport is training can be quite expensive. So I was like, what perfect way would it be to bring girls who are like-minded? It's such a great sport to also like what's the word I'm looking for, to network with people.
Right.
So I wanted to create a space for Black girls to feel safe to make mistakes, to find people in the city, whether you're looking for a friend or someone to do something with on the weekends, you know? So that's how Black Girls in Tennis was born.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Black Girls in Tennis is such a riveting experience.
Thank you. I'm glad you loved it.
I cannot say anything bad about it. So, how many events do you normally do per month? Is it more so like a monthly thing where people purchase a pass, or is it per class?
So right now we're running Black Girls in Tennis twice a month, and it's been sold out since we opened.
Ooh.
So that's
powerhouse.
exciting, right?
Yikes.
So going forward, I'm moving into like kind of a membership
Okay.
because I'm seeing we're getting a lot of new people all the time. But for our regulars, they're actually starting to progress in the sport, which is exciting. So
yeah.
I want to give people that option of kind of, having it as something that's included within their routine.
Nice. So recently, you were actually on CBC
Yes.
to talk about Black girls in tennis. I told you guys, she's the girl. How was that experience being called to CBC? That's huge.
It is. And I find it funny because I didn't create Black Girls in Tennis with any intention of it going anywhere.
Right.
It was just, I'm going to find 5 girls who like to play tennis, and that's what it's going to be. So hearing that so many people are impacted and having the radio want to come talk, talk to me about something that I just started out of the blue, it was very nerve-wracking.
Of course.
Because it was then I realized I actually started something that will mean something to a lot of people, So I'm really excited about where it's going in the future of Black Girls in Tennis.
I think it's going up. There's
Right.
like nowhere to go
Exactly.
but up at this point. And how many people did you find were actually interested when you launched it for the first time?
That was crazy. So when I launched it, I made the first meetup free. It was
Okay,
in the
yeah.
summer, and I created like a little form, like who's interested, and I got over 100 signups from there.
That's insane.
I did not know we had that many Black girls in the
First of
city.
all,
Right? I was like,
So-
100,
Right?
So I then had to like dial it down, and I think the first meet we had about 40 women show up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So how many people normally are in your classes now?
Because it's the winter, and in Edmonton we only have one court that you can play in the winter, like an
Oh, for
open one.
indoors?
Yeah, so like kind of like a public one where you can book
Okay.
without membership. So Seville has been great with that, and I think now I'm putting it at like 30 ladies max.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think you're gonna open up more spots or have more classes during the month to
Mm.
accommodate for the influx of people that are coming in?
You know what? I think that would be possible within the summer.
Mm-hmm.
In the winter, because there's only one facility,
Yeah.
I might not have the option to do that, unfortunately.
Ooh, so you're only able to pick like reserve a certain amount of courts.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. I know, girl.
So the demand is too
The
much.
demand is too much.
You're too on
But the
fire.
facilities are not, they're not capable of keeping up with
Interesting.
us,
I
you know?
mean, hey, that can be basically an opportunity for growth
I
within
know.
the city as
I
well.
know.
If that's something that you can showcase, that hey, we have like 300 people who are interested in playing tennis. You had 100. I would not be surprised if you get up to 300.
I know.
You know what I mean?
That's
Especially right
crazy.
now. And now you diverted over into Women in Motion. So you're co-founder for that too. What the heck is going on? And tell me about that. How did that even start?
Women in Motion, that's something I'm really excited about,
Okay.
actually. So Women in Motion encompasses wellness in general, but the founding steps for Women in Motion have been fitness events, because I find myself in my late 20s. You cannot convince me to go out at this point. I'm at home, I'm a mom,
Yeah.
I'm a wife.
wife.
There's so much going on in our lives, especially as you approach those late 20s, early 30s.
100%.
And for a lot of us, the things we used to do kind of shift. So we noticed that there's so many women who are kind of in that in between. They still want to be social, but there's this ongoing thing, like as you approach your 30s, you feel like running a marathon, you know?
I've literally written that down. I want to run a marathon.
So there's something that shifts. It's like all of a sudden your health becomes a priority.
Of course.
And also at the same time you're always at work, so you miss those social connections, but you don't want to be leaving your home at 11 p.m. to
going
get
to the
that,
club? At this,
I cannot.
At this age, I am tired.
Exactly.
I cannot.
So Women in Motion was pretty much created to bridge that gap,
I love that.
to enforce kind of a movement that can have that social aspect. You can meet other women, but also encourage you to move your body, encourage you to try Pilates if you haven't, to try a spin class, to try anything that would get your body moving, but also be in a social aspect that's safe and comfortable, and where you know that the vibes will always be immaculate when you get there.
Oh, I love that. So you started off, your first event for Women in Motion was a Pilates
It
event.
was.
How was that from a scale of 1 to 10? How was that in terms of planning, the organization? Tell me the tea.
Okay, so there is tea.
Ooh.
There is tea.
Oh my gosh.
So what I can say is, because there's two of us, we both worked on our strengths.
Okay.
So kind of planning it and finding women, because we already have like individual platforms, so that wasn't hard. But as you get into like this new world of event planning, of which it never clicked in my head that I'm planning an event.
Yeah.
I was faced with so many aspects of things that I didn't think would happen on the day off, and things like that. But in total, it was a 10 out of 10 experience.
Wow.
I would love it, and I'm going to do it again.
Period.
Yeah.
I mean, there is new events coming up.
Exactly.
I wish I could come, but I'll be in
I know.
Ghana.
Girl, don't apologize.
Ghana.
Don't apologize. You're going to be having a time of your life
too.
over there.
Ghana in December, we're back. But anyways, that is actually insane that you're able to not only bridge the gap for Black girls in tennis, but now you're taking it one step further to create Women in Motion. So
Exactly.
I commend you for that, because
Thank
event planning
you.
is scary.
It is scary.
It is
girl.
very scary.
You did not warn me.
Huh? The day of my events, was I not running around? I was running around like a chicken who got their head cut
You
off.
know what? No, you make it look glamorous.
Oh wow, thank
Yeah.
you. Wow, I didn't even get to change into my final outfit.
Oh my gosh, that wasn't your final.
No,
Okay.
that was just relaxed.
Okay.
That was relaxed. So I can definitely understand that. So you are a full-time entrepreneur.
Yes.
What were you initially doing before you started getting into the world of entrepreneurship?
HR.
Whoa.
HR.
This is the lady you had to talk to.
Exactly.
Ooh.
So in hindsight, HR really like gave me some transferable skills that I
100%.
use now. So handling situations, all that. I'm good at that now, but it was really such a switch up
Of
from
course.
having stable income, and knowing where your 9 to 5, like having your day planned for you essentially, and being thrown to the wolves and doing it by myself. But it has been a rewarding journey so far.
Wow.
I don't think I can ever go back.
Oh, of course. But managing that and being a mother of two under
Yeah.
two, right?
Yeah. Oh, no. 4 and 2. I would
4
not
and
survive
2.
that, girl.
4 and 2. That's still insane. How are you
Yeah.
managing? Of course, you
Oh,
have to
wait.
support, but
4 and 1,
you
girl.
don't even know the child.
You see, mom brain. I was like, he looks like a 2-year-old,
Oh my God.
but he's still one.
That's okay. You tried your best.
I
You're
tried
running
my best,
multiple
girl.
businesses,
Exactly.
okay? That is fine. It is okay to forget.
Girl.
Managing being a mother
Yeah.
and running a business, how is that? Tell me about the difficulties that you've kind of had, or if you've had any.
To be honest, I feel like I've much preferred entrepreneurship whilst being a mother,
Interesting.
because I'm in control of my own time. If my daughter has gymnastics, I can make sure that that specific time frame is blocked. If my daughter is sick, then guess what? I'm not available. So entrepreneurship has given me free reign over my time.
Okay.
So I get to make sure that my kids are still getting a mother who's present.
Ooh. And
Yeah,
that's important.
it is
to have
very
a present mom who's also going after her dreams
Exactly.
and aspiring to do more. Honestly, your daughter's gonna look up to you and be like, "My mom is such
I
a
know.
killer."
I know.
Like, do
And
you
that's
see
what
her?
pushes me harder every time to see that there's a little girl who's studying my every move,
Yeah.
and there's a little boy who knows what a woman is capable of at the
Wow.
same time.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's talk. I need to put a little clap for that one, because that is so true.
Mhm.
Little girls are going to be looking up to you. Little black girls, even. For
Exactly.
instance, like if she has friends and they ask, "Oh, what does your mom do?" All of a sudden, you see your mom on CBC.
I
That's my
know.
mom.
Exactly.
You know how much of a flex that
It's so
is?
cool.
No,
I'm
that is
like,
amazing.
yeah.
Did you go through like postpartum depression anytime during, after your pregnancies, whilst you're running your businesses, or?
That's interesting, actually, because I I wouldn't know per se if I can call it postpartum depression, but I remember a time I clicked and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm back.
Interesting.
So I think I was more in survival mode of making sure I'm a good mom to a small infant, but I'm also nurturing my businesses at the same time, that I didn't notice I had kind of lost myself, because I have such a good support system that I was able to always keep my head above the
Of
water.
course.
But there was a point where I was like, oh, I'm back.
Ooh.
Like
Now she's
I'm
stepping
back.
outside.
Exactly.
She's like, put on the heels.
Yeah, girl.
Do the
The
makeup.
stiletto. I
Oh,
was
the
like, baby
stiletto.
girl is back.
Click, click,
Mhm.
clack.
For my
Jackie's
future.
back. I love that for you, because honestly, entrepreneurship is hard.
It is.
It is not the
It
easiest
is.
thing, and I think it's definitely been more glamorized than it actually is.
Thank you.
You know, and the biggest thing is people are so excited about what they can actually get, the end goal. You can get your G Wagon. Don't get me
Oh my
wrong.
gosh,
A
girl.
G Wagon is nice.
A
I need
G-Wagon
I need a
is
little
nice.
G-Wagon. I'm not gonna
Me too,
lie.
girl.
Okay. I need one of those.
The process,
But
though,
the process
is ghetto.
is scary.
Is very
It's
scary.
scary.
Yeah.
Like, it pushes you beyond your limits.
Yeah.
And I found myself, I sit down in my room and I'm like, girl,
What are you
wanna
doing?
do this?
I'm like, I'm too far deep. I can't turn back.
At this point.
You can't turn
At
back.
this point. And
Yeah.
on top of it, I think the major thing is, well, let's say for instance, if you go back to a regular job,
I cannot be
constantly.
a good employee anymore.
Wow.
I cannot, because I'm either going to do more than my job, then be upset when I'm not being paid for the value I'm bringing.
Yikes.
Because now I'm trying to fix
Oh,
everything,
let's
as you
talk
say.
about
You know
that.
what I
Let's talk
mean?
about
Exactly.
Now you want to be the boss.
Then
And the boss is looking at you like, 48 laws of power. You can never
No, you can
outshine
never
the boss.
outshine the leader.
Mm.
Exactly.
And if you outshine, you get fired.
Exactly,
You
madam.
might. You might.
Yeah,
So
you
I don't
actually
have some
might.
kind of,
Mhm.
attitude.
Or they will use you,
Yes.
and you will not get the full extent of what you actually worth.
Wow.
So I can't go back at this point. So I'm stuck
You're
here.
stuck here. In child bustling. So what unique challenges have you faced as a woman entrepreneur?
Okay.
Ooh, the
So
sigh.
the
Okay.
side. I feel like lack of representation, especially I
Interesting.
feel like for me as a black female
Mm,
entrepreneur. There's
mhm,
another like layer onto
mhm,
there. I really wanted to see someone who looked like me,
mhm.
who's already where I aspire to
Yeah.
be. And I feel like Edmonton, Alberta in general,
Mhm,
we're growing, we're rising,
mhm,
and we might just have to be those people. And
mhm,
then it's like, it's definitely a city of immigrants.
mhm,
Being an immigrant already states that you're new.
mhm,
So we have a lot of established businesses and a lot of, like places that are doing extremely well for
mhm,
themselves.
mhm,
But to find someone like you
mhm.
who's at that stage,
Yeah,
it's rare.
that's the
So I
difference.
feel like that was definitely a challenge. And also, knowing that what social media tells us that
Mm,
success will look like or
yeah,
how fast it comes,
yeah,
knowing that if someone is like, I had my business and it blew up to $1 million in a
yeah.
year, like knowing that that story like grew so much because it's not
Mhm.
the norm,
Yeah,
you know?
I
So I
agree.
feel like we see all that and we think that when we dive into business,
Mhm.
that's going to be our story,
Yeah, and
you
it's
know?
not.
And definitely
You'll
not.
be crying first
Hmm.
couple months.
So now it's like those are the challenges. It's like finding mentorship that you
Mhm.
can relate to,
I agree.
knowing what to listen to and
Mhm.
what to ignore.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, it's definitely finding those resources that will help you grow from where you are.
Mhm. And do you find like you were able to seek out those type of resources, or you found it was very limited still?
You know what? I found good allies.
Mm.
For example, the Anza entrepreneurship
Nice.
ecosystem that
Yeah.
was really good.
Mhm.
And actually like meeting fellow entrepreneurs. Like I'll be like, Golda, the week that I had, they almost had me. You know what I mean? So having that, and for me, faith is a big thing. I feel like
Mhm.
my relationship with God
I love. Oh yes.
grew the moment I chose to become an entrepreneur. Because I'd be
Wow.
like, God, who's gonna pay these bills? And then
Mm.
someone books, I'm like,
There.
they are,
There.
So I feel like I had to really use my circle, my surroundings, expand my circle into
Mhm.
like entrepreneurial circles so that I can meet like-minded people
Mhm.
and learn because
Mhm.
that's realistic in my world now.
No, I completely agree. I understand mentorship, but I think at the beginning of things, a lot of people don't really understand what questions to really ask
That's so
during
true.
like the beginning of mentorship.
That is
Like,
so true.
what do I ask you?
No,
And
it's
then
true.
people say on the internet, "Oh, form a connection with this person." But how do you form a connection with someone who doesn't know you and they know you want
No,
information
you're
from them,
right.
right? So they're
You're
looking
right.
at you as a third party that just wants information.
Exactly.
So,
It's also hard, right? Because a lot of people, it's like a tit for tat. Like, what can you do for
exactly,
me?
exactly,
So it's
exactly.
finding those people who are willing to see you and just be like, okay, sit down. I'm going to talk
Mm,
to you. But
yeah.
in order for you to get mentorship, you're right. You have to be at a spot where you actually know the questions to ask. You know what?
I
And
don't
the
know.
funny thing though is as much as it's an ugly process,
Mhm.
you have to have a cute outwardly appearance
Yes.
because no one wants to see struggle.
Oh, and that's the gag.
Exactly.
That's the gag.
No one wants to
No
see
one wants to
struggle.
see the struggle. No one
Exactly.
comes on the internet and say, "Wow, I didn't have money for 10 years."
And I still
No.
don't have money.
They come
No
on the
one wants
internet
to
and
see
tell you,
that.
"I'm
Exactly.
doing great.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
life." And it's so unrealistic.
It is.
And I think the thing is, we are influenced by American content
Oh my gosh,
greatly.
girl.
So
And we're not in
we're
America.
not in America.
Can we speak on that for a little
Yeah,
bit?
let's talk about it.
Because it's like actually, if you look at the population of
Mm.
Canada
Mm.
as a whole,
Mm.
that's a state.
That's
That's
what
a
I'm
state in the
saying.
USA,
That's what I'm
and we
saying.
want to compare analytics and we
Mm-hmm.
want to compare turnout for events. I'm like, we
Mm-hmm.
do not have the people.
That is the thing. And the
Yeah,
people who we are trying to target, the market is
it's
much
not
more
there.
smaller.
Exactly.
Like, if, like, I'm sorry, the market is like 2 million
Exactly.
comparison to 10,000
Exactly.
in Alberta,
And you
probably.
literally have to make sure that even your mentors, your internet mentors, your favorite person who succeeded,
Mm.
do not take them word for word because you have to translate that with your
I
reality
100%
because you're in
agree.
Canada.
Exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
our laws are different as well. Certain
Yes.
things that you can do in America in terms of like tax implications, tax exemptions,
Girl,
what you can write off. There are certain
there's
codes that are
so
completely
many.
different
Exactly.
because we live in
Even
Canada.
exactly. Even within the world of aesthetics, for example, I almost did a course that's illegal to do in Canada. Because in America, you see all this content.
What are you doing?
Oh, my makeup. My
I
makeup.
gotta hold it together.
Okay.
What?
No, I am so. America is so lax
Yeah.
on everything they
Yeah.
do. So if you get so caught up, like, oh my gosh, that's a new beauty trend,
You can't do it in
you'll
Canada.
get arrested.
You cannot
So
do it in
God, thank
Canada.
God for research.
Like, I'm gonna post this video and you're like laughing.
Okay,
It's
okay.
insane. It's so true though.
It
You
is.
cannot do anything that Americans are doing. Like the Canadian government will
Well,
audit you.
exactly, they will.
audit
They
you.
will.
And
You
on
know,
top of it, everything is much more tight in Canada.
it is.
Like
It
even
is.
with advertising.
Oh my gosh, girl,
Advertising in
girl,
Canada is so
you
much
face
different.
that too.
It's so much different.
No, it's
There's
crazy.
such our
It's
privacy
crazy.
laws in
I
comparison to
insane,
America
insane.
is insane.
You know what? That CBC
Mm,
new the radio thing
mm,
I did,
mm.
I couldn't even go watch it
What do you mean?
because it's news.
Oh
So
my gosh,
in the
yeah.
page, it's the CBC News Instagram page.
Yeah.
So the moment I clicked on it, was like, "You're in Canada, you can't
can't
watch
watch
that."
this.
I'm like, "But
I
but
watched it. I
I'm
went to the website though.
Oh,
Like
okay. You see,
directly to the website.
exactly. That's what you have to do. But isn't that insane sometimes? So
Yeah.
it's like you have to learn your landscape.
Yeah.
Do not
100%
take
agree.
everything Americans do because they're the leaders, especially in the social world, one as to one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apply what you know and use
Apply.
discernment.
Yes.
Just like how everyone online is talking about, oh, this is how you become a feminine woman. Use discernment.
Use discernment.
Use
In
discernment.
everything you
In
do.
everything.
Have your own voice. Don't let it be dialed down by other voices telling you everything. Don't be sheep to things you don't understand.
Okay, so this is something I've never done before. So Jackie has the honor of being here
Ooh.
today. We are doing Golda's hot seat. So I'll be asking Jackie questions about her industry in under a minute.
Oh,
Let's see how fast she can
and
answer.
that is a hot
questions.
seat.
It's like it's hot.
It's hot.
But you know your stuff.
Let's
You are
get
a
it.
powerhouse. You
Let's
know what I
get it,
mean?
girl.
All right. Are you ready for the hot seat?
I'm ready for the hot seat.
Da-da-da-da-da. Get it, girl.
Golda's hot seat. Let's go.
I need a song.
Mm.
Wait a minute.
Oh my gosh, the timer is coming out.
1
Okay,
minute
darling.
hot seat.
Okay.
What's
Let's
one
get it.
fitness or wellness routine you recommend for busy entrepreneurs?
Running.
Running. Okay.
Yeah.
What's one must-know tip for someone who's interested in body contouring?
Do your research, have a goal in mind.
Okay. What's one thing everyone should know before organizing a wellness event?
Ooh, have a target market.
Okay. What does wellness mean to you?
Wellness means being the best version of myself internally and outwardly as well.
Okay. What's the biggest misconception about wellness?
Is that it is one size fits all. It's tailored.
Okay. How do you attract new players?
Ooh, content.
What's your proudest moment so far?
Not having a mental breakdown.
What's the biggest challenge for Black women in tennis?
Ooh, finding the spaces to conduct the meetings.
Ooh. Last question. How do you stay creative in your work?
The mind God blessed me with. That seat was a burning. It was hot. It was.
So we are getting to the end of this episode. We have 3 little questions we want to ask you to help us end off really nicely, okay?
Okay.
This is for the young girls, young
Toning
Black
it
girls.
down.
So, what advice would you give to women who are just starting their journey in business?
Ooh. Okay, so I would tell anyone basically that your vision should keep you like going.
Okay.
Your vision should be your fuel.
Okay.
So don't look at your current circumstances. Have that big goal in mind. So that is your why. Your why needs to be stronger than the daily challenges you meet. And don't give up in your first year.
Okay. And how do you find that why?
Finding the why is basically the core reason you do anything you do, right? So if you're starting a business, what made you start that business? And what would make you do it unpaid?
I see. So finding the emotion
Exactly.
between it, essentially. So as someone who's co-founded a group, just like Women in Motion, how would you advise others to find a co-founder who shares the same vision and values?
Okay, very good question, actually. So, anyone who's looking for a partner, per se, you have to don't jump into any type of partnership. First, see if it makes sense with your business. And if it does, you need to find someone who has a good track record. So, if that person is an entrepreneur as well, you can basically see the way they conduct themselves and their business, how they run their business, their level of professionalism. If the person isn't an entrepreneur, look at the integrity. How are they with their word? Do they stick to the things that they say they're going to do? How do other people perceive them and the things they do? So finding a partner also, you need to have the same vision. Get a partner who can meet you at your wildest vision or have it surpass yours. Because if anyone is below that, they will sabotage your dream because they can't see it.
Wow. Now, that's serious.
Yes.
That's serious because it's very easy to lose that trust that you have with your partner that you have with your business.
Definitely.
Right?
And you, like for me, when I found Deb, I saw how she ran her business. I saw how motivated she was, even with a baby, that girl does things that amaze me till this day. And no vision I have scares her.
And that's why you guys work so
That's
well
why we work together.
I love that. So what would you say, last thing to end us off, to the young Black girls out there who are looking to get into entrepreneurship or business, like even speaking to your daughter, what's something you would just tell her or any of the young Black girls out there? Because it's so
this
important.
Is close.
Like,
this is close to home.
Is so important.
It is. So for any Black girl there, or any Black girl out there, I would say dream big. Don't allow anything that anyone tells you. Don't let people put you in a box. And fail as many times as you can, because it might be at that 10th time when you reach above and beyond. And look for women within your community, like there's me, there's Golda, like they're people that you can see are community builders. You can see that they're pushing for a vision, and we have insight that you might not have. So always feel free to approach someone. The worst thing that can happen is a no. And you're going to get so many no's in business, but you might get that one yes that will change your life.
I love that. And recognize your power, young Black girls.
That is a good one.
We're so amazing.
We are.
Like,
we really
so
are.
Amazing. And I think we're not appreciated enough within society. And I think it's amazing that young women like you, who even has children, is still persevering and showcasing what is actually capable. Running 3 businesses. Jackie. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of The Golda Show. I'm honored to be able to speak with such an amazing woman such as Jackie today. So thank you so much for being here.
Girl, thank you for hosting me. This was fun. It opened my mind to a lot of things with the questions you asked. And this is going to be a hit. You got what it takes, baby girl.
Period. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Bye.